is CNN Breaking News.
And the breaking news this morning, the FBI is investigating an attack on a Jewish gathering in Boulder, Colorado as an act of terror. Officials say at least 8 people were injured at the event held in support of Israeli hostages in Gaza. It was a disturbing scene. Smoke rising after the FBI says a man used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd. Among the injured was a Holocaust survivor. One of the people who attended the event told CNN. Witnesses described the chaos.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video that I'm dropping tonight, in case anybody hasn't heard, I'm hoping everybody has, of the terror attack that happened in Colorado yesterday or 2 days ago, where an Egyptian man went and decided to basically attack some Jewish people who were having some sort of a small rally about for the hostages that are being held by Hamas, and he decided to make his own makeshift what they're saying is like flamethrowers and attack some of the people. And a matter of fact, one of them that was attacked, I believe they said, was an elderly woman that survived the Holocaust. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things in here that I want to break down, and something very, very that I feel is very important to point out. And I know it's probably going to offend a lot of people, but you know what? The way I see it, the way things are going on, and the way the mainstream media tries to spin everything around, especially in light of all the things that happened this weekend. Today is Monday, the 2nd. I really don't give a shit, okay, about saying what I'm gonna say, and that's just the way it's gonna be. There's a lot of things that have been going on, especially with a lot of content creators. It just seems that, you know what, the more we're trying to put out information, the more it seems that a lot of it's being censored, and the mainstream media, no matter how much information is being put out, they keep trying to divert from the truth and keep trying to point the finger, okay, at everybody else but themselves. Okay, and I'll explain as I go. Just quickly, to all my subscribers, I'm back. It's been a rough nearly 2 months since my accident, and I just want to thank everybody for sticking with the channel, for sending me messages and emails. There's a lot of emails I need to catch up with, so give me some time. I'll catch up to it. It's not easy for me at this point. It's not easy for me to sit for a long time and make content, so I'm slowly getting back into it. Not doing it from my bed anymore with my iPad. So everybody just bear with me. It seems like I've lost some subscribers. That's quite all right. I offended somebody on my last video talking about Harvard. Oh well, you want to leave the channel? Too bad. You know, kiss my ass. It's just the way it is. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. So with all that being said, please don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. If you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So let's get into this. I want to show what CNN is putting out, okay? And there's one or two things that I want to point out, because this whole thing that's going on in the Middle East with Israel and Palestine, you know, it's the left, the leftist politicians, the mainstream media, the powers that be, they have blown this dog whistle, and they have added so much fuel to this fire that now the attacks, okay, are getting more heinous on American soil for something that we have. And I don't want to hear what anybody has to say. I know some of you leftists are going to leave comments talking about, oh, well, you know what? America's backing up Israel, this and that, yada yada yada. Let's get one thing straight. Okay? Let's get one thing straight. First and foremost, let's get a couple of things straight. First and foremost, I am an American. I worry about America, Americans on American soil. That's number one. Who our allies are, who we back up, that's just the way it is, just like every other country on the planet. Okay? Another thing that's very important. Do I feel bad for the innocent men, women, and children that are caught in the middle of this on both sides? Yes, absolutely. I mean, you'd have to be a monster not to. But let's just remember one thing. Okay? Hamas started this shit on October 7th. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And whatever it is that Donald Trump wants to do with our ally, okay, in my opinion, I just think this whole war just needs to stop. But don't be fooled. Don't think for a hot minute that Hamas, okay, is playing nice. Now, do I think there's fault on both sides? Absolutely. And like I said, I'm probably going to offend a few people with that. I really don't care. I honestly really don't care. My thing first and foremost are Americans. Is this country America? Not Israel, not Palestine. But like I said, do I care about the innocent men, women, and children that don't want these wars, but they're caught in the middle? Yes. Yes. But there's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on in America. Okay? And I'll be honest, I'm going to say it, like I said, I might lose some subscribers. I really don't care. I have yet to see an all-Jewish crowd, okay, protesting for Americans' lives that are lost due to, I don't know, acts of terrorism or acts of crime done by illegal migrants, okay, on American soil, and or I have yet to see a giant crowd, a giant protest of just Muslims doing the same thing. So excuse me if I care about America and Americans on American soil. That is my first obligation, to care for my people. But the way we have it on mainstream media, they keep stoking the flames of hate and division. And I'm going to point something out, and I want everybody to watch what I point out, and not saying that, you know what happened in Colorado is good or whatever the case is, because nobody deserves what is happening. But there is something that I found very ironic that fits, okay, the freaking hypocrisy from the left. I'll point that out when I get there. So everybody bear with me and watch. Let's continue to hear what this moron has to say, because he was one of the people out of so many on CNN, MSNBC, you name it, just letting the pro-Palestinian protests go on, and then they take the side of the Israelis, and then they take the side of the Muslims, and then they try to use Donald Trump and people on the right for hating both sides, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And now all of a sudden, someone that should have been kicked out the country years ago, no, the Biden administration, knowing that the man overstayed his visa, supposedly was kicked out, he came back, overstayed his visa again, or whatever the case was, instead of them just taking him and slingshotting his ass back over the border, no, they left him even to the point of giving him working papers. And what does he do? He decides to go and attack people in Colorado. Let's continue.
We're all trying to be like, what do we need to do to put this fire out? This person is screaming, upset, on the ground, on rock, it's rock, it's concrete. How do we put out this fire? This person is burning.
The person who threw the Molotov cocktail had two more in his hand. and he was holding them and he was yelling and he was screaming at everybody. I think he was saying, "You're killing my people," as he was holding, and I was only trying to make sure people were getting away because I saw another bomb going off that was in his hand.
All right, there is a suspect under arrest this morning. Officials have identified him as 45-year-old Mohammed Sabri Solomon. He was seen shirtless, carrying 2 bottles. You can see it there. The FBI says he shouted, "Free Palestine." He is due in court this afternoon after being booked on multiple charges, including felony use of incendiary devices. Sources tell CNN he had applied for asylum in the U.S. and was denied a visa to enter the country in 2005. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller says he had illegally overstayed a tourist visa. Let's get right to CNN's Bryn Gingras. Bring us up to speed. A lot of new developments this morning.
Yeah, the first is that Sabri is behind bars, or Solomon rather, is behind bars right now on $10 million bail. He has a court date, as you said, 1:30, the time there in Colorado. So we'll be looking forward to see what happens there. We know that there are multiple felony charges that he is booked on, including murder charges, though we have not learned from officials of any of these victims dying. So we're waiting to hear what that means for those charges. As John described, and you just heard from witnesses there, it was certainly a chaotic scene as these, this is a weekly event that happens with this group of people. They go to support the hostages that are held in Gaza by Hamas. And this person, Solomon, according to police, showed up with his makeshift flamethrower with Molotov cocktails. Witnesses describe how he was just dousing people and trying, people were running to their aid, trying to basically put out the flames with water bottles, we're told. 4 women, 4 men injured in this, all brought to hospitals. 2 were actually had to be air flighted. As John mentioned, one of those victims, a Holocaust survivor. Let's hear more from the governor there in Colorado.
Okay, now before I let the governor say what he has to say, I want everybody to look at this. I'm going to go back just a little bit, okay? I'll play it with the on mute. I just want to point something out, okay? And I'll put it back. I'll put the volume back up. This man is out here screaming, "Look at all these men. Look at all these men." Okay? All afraid to go after this one guy. Okay? Now I know what some people are going to say. Yeah, but he has something in his hands. This, and that. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. If that's how you want to, if that's how you want to look at it, okay. But let me tell you something. Okay? Now, I'm not saying anybody has to go out there and be a hero. I'm not saying that. But what man in their right mind, what group of men in their right mind could all stand there after seeing what just happened and all not get together and say, "You know what, the hell with this shit. We're going to bum rush this dude. 1 or maybe 2 of us are going to get hurt, but we're going to take this dude out." I look at this and I keep running it through my head like 2 or 3 or 4 of these guys at the same time could have rushed this dude. Okay? One of them was going to get to him, maybe 2 of them, and just beat the living shit out this dude and subdue him till the cops get there. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm not trying to spread any kind of violence here on YouTube or on any other channel. My whole thing is not about violence. But when there's something like this, damn it, how do you stand there and not jump up and fight? But meanwhile, okay, you have all these people on the left, all these pro-Palestinian protesters, all these transgender protesters, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, whoever it is, you name it, everybody from the left. They have no reason to go out there other than the fact that they're filled with nothing but hate, okay, and a twisted agenda, and they're out there attacking innocent people. And yet here were a couple of people going about their business, and some dude who didn't have the balls to go out there and fight in Palestine, since he's talking about free Palestine. No, he decided to keep breaking into America, given sanctuary in Colorado, trust me, I'm going to show you some more of what I was talking about before, and decided to just attack innocent people. And then you have people on CNN like Jake Tapper. At the time, you had what? Joy Reid. Okay? You got Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. Everybody is talking about free Palestine. No, let's help the Jews. No, let's do this. And if anybody wants to say something about it, you're nothing but a racist, so you need to pick a side. But the side we want you to pick is the side that's going to wind up getting us votes, like the Muslims, the Palestinians, or we're going to go and give money to the Israelis. But it's wrong if they defend themselves, because Hamas decided to go and attack innocent people at a concert on October 7th. But let's just let all the ignorance build up, because all the ignorant pricks here in America want to go and ignore the fact of what Hamas did to start this conflict. And it's been nothing but confusion and total chaos. That's all it's been. And now it's reached American soil. And let me tell you something, people, before I continue. I pray to God this is just a one-off. Because even though the mainstream media, even though the news outlets are talking about it, when it first started, the rumor was, the reason why they brought it up was because they thought the man was a white guy. Okay, when they found out that he was from Egypt, they had to just keep going with the story. Why? Because they knew it wasn't going to fit their narrative, but they couldn't block the story. Where's Ilhan Omar now? Where's Rashida Tlaib now condemning this? Where are all the pro-Muslim protesters? Where are you condemning this? As a matter of fact, where are all you liberals in Colorado? Where is, okay, where's the queers for Palestine in all this? And I say that for a reason. I'll let you guys know. But where are they condemning this? Huh? Where's the Democrat Party condemning this? Oh, they're not. Because they're going to stay clear from this. Because had it been a white guy, okay, an American white guy, they would have been all over this. But let's continue.
Let's hear more from the governor there in Colorado.
I've walked by the way, these folks who most weeks are there, reminding us that the hostages are still being held by Hamas. And to think that they would be attacked viciously and targeted simply because of their political beliefs in this country in this day and age is just completely, hard to believe, frankly. We want to make sure that, again, no matter what your viewpoints are in our state, that you feel safe. And in particular, now a lot of members of our Jewish community feel particularly threatened by this act of terrorism.
And as we said...
Okay, you heard that. Everybody feels afraid now. Now, it's my first full video back, so I'm going to make it short. But the reason why I brought that up about Queers for Palestine and how, why this happened in Colorado, I'm going to show you. Okay? Let me go back on the video just a little bit. I want everybody to bear with me and just pay attention. Okay? And I want, you know what? Yeah, you should be able to see this. I'm going to play this right here, and I'm going to pause it. Okay, right there. Colorado, okay, they pride themselves in being a sanctuary city, sanctuary state. They pride themselves that everybody's equal. They pride themselves on LGBT, trans rights, and all this other bullshit. But if anybody on the right says something, no, you're being a racist. Like when they lied about the Venezuelan gangs taking over buildings in Colorado. Nope, you can't say that. That's being racist, yada, yada, yada. And yet they found out that it was the damn truth. So they had to go and eat crow on that one. But look at what we got here. This is Colorado, the sanctuary city, sanctuary state, where they hate people on the right. But tell me if this is, and I'm not trying to make fun of this situation, but tell me if this is not poetry in motion, people. This is in Colorado, sanctuary blue state. You have a man from the Middle East attacking Jews, standing right in front of a building that's waving a gay pride flag. Where are the protests from the trans community that are supposed to be queers for Palestine or whatever? Where's your protest? Where are all you liberals that are protesting against Trump and his supporters? Where are you? Where are you, all you pro-Palestinian protesters that say, you know what? We don't want anybody to die, which in my opinion is all bullshit. They know what they want, from the river to the sea, right? What are they chanting in New York in some of the protests? Intifada worldwide or whatever the hell it is? Where's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? For instead of kicking this man out once and for all or just sticking him in prison, no, they wound up giving him a work visa. How that worked out, who knows? Knowing very well that he left and then he came back in and then he gave him a tourist visa, whatever the hell the case is. In other words, he kept overstaying his visas. Where was his punishment? No, they just let him back in. And Colorado embraced him. That whole community embraced him. And look what he did. I tell you, people, there are things going on, and let me tell you something. People need to keep their heads on a swivel, because the stories that are coming out from the Middle East, from Gaza, is saying that the United States is sending aid. All of a sudden, people are being attacked. Israel's saying it ain't us. We got video footage of mass people going through the crowd shooting. And then you got the people on the left saying, no, that was Israelis. Israelis are like, that's not us. As a matter of fact, Reuters put out, I think it was Reuters that put out a video talking about all these people trying to get to the aid stations where they're trying to get aid, food and stuff like that. And Hamas was warning their people. Warning them how? Who knows? I see everybody protesting. But everybody on the left who feel that they have a reason to protest, not one person, not one, condemns what Hamas is doing or what Hamas did to start all this carnage. Nobody on the left, especially in the Biden administration, it's too late now, condemned all these protests and all that. No, they got the right to protest, letting that fire just build and build and burn and burn. And now innocent people here in America, and I don't care what they are, Jewish, Muslim, you're an American, you love this country, you love this country. Okay? But now you got people over here doing these terrorist acts, and the thing about it is that CNN, okay, as a matter of fact, if nobody believes me, I'll play the video clip real quick. I had to get it from another content creator because I couldn't find it, the one that he put out. Okay, but you listen to what this was put out by who's this? T-Sply. Listen to what this woman says. This woman down here with the white. Okay, I mean, if this is not a perturbed thinking, I just don't know what is. Listen to what she says.
To be quite direct here, the FBI director and deputy director got way ahead of where the local police were. The language that the FBI used in their tweets included words like violence, targeted terrorism, and violent. They got ahead of where the local police knew where the investigation was. I want to just make it clear here. This could have been an anti-Semitic attack, which is terrifying. In particular for people in the community.
Okay. Did you hear that? She said this could have been an anti-Semitic attack. Hold on 1 second. It was nothing but Jewish people, and some guy who's screaming "Free Palestine" attacks them. She's saying that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and them got way ahead of themselves for calling it a terrorist attack. But what the hell would you call it? It's just like the 2 people that got shot and killed from that maniac in Washington D.C. coming out the museum or wherever it was last week. The same thing. We don't have all the details. The guy was screaming out free Palestine. So they're saying, oh, you know what? Well, we don't really know if it was an anti-Semitic attack. What the hell do you think it was? And then she's going to come out and make it seem like, oh, that the FBI got ahead of the Colorado Police Department. First of all, the Colorado Police Department were in cahoots lying with the left when it came to saying about all the freaking illegal migrant gang members in Colorado taking over the buildings. They try to hide it. They try to change reports or whatever the case is. And then somebody had to step in and say, no, you're wrong. And not only that you're wrong, you're lying. So now this woman's going to come out and try to put another spin on it. And you wonder why these things are happening. Because you won't stop with the fear and the hate mongering. And then when something happens, right away you want to go and try to hide the truth. Once again, nothing to see here. Don't believe your lying ears or eyes. And instead, in all honesty, and I have to be honest, this is what I'm saying, I'm not taking either side. Okay? Instead of the Jewish community pointing out all these lies from the left mainstream media, they don't. They just want to point the finger at the people that are attacking them. So you got both sides fighting each other here on American soil and abroad. You got the mainstream media perpetrating a fraud. And the only people that are trying to hold the mainstream media's feet to the fire are people on the right. But we're the racists. Donald Trump's a troublemaker. He's a racist. He's a Nazi. But look at who is perpetrating the fraud on both sides. It's ridiculous. It truly, truly is ridiculous, man. Meanwhile, everybody's worried about people in Palestine. But you don't bring up the past. Don't bring up the past that the leader of Palestine back during World War II was sitting down with Hitler, in cahoots with Hitler. Do your research, people. It's on video, believe it or not. And I know people say, well, you sound like you're supporting Israel. Listen, I'm supporting innocent people. Like I said, the innocent men, women, and children on both sides. But this is nothing new with this war. It's been going on for generations. And Hamas took it upon themselves on October 7th to relight that fuse. And instead of people on the left pointing that out, no, they're letting all those people run amok in the streets, nothing but protest, and then something like this happens, and even then, they're going to double, triple, and quadruple down and say, we can't really call it a anti-Semitic attack. Then what in the world would you call it? Let's call it for what it is. It was a terrorist attack by somebody from the Middle East here on American soil. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, pray for this country, pray for your enemies, pray for Donald Trump, And don't forget to pray for all the missing children that they brought across the border. Peace.